How you doing today, folks? Now today I have an unboxing for you of a knife that I am exceptionally excited for, but I didn't buy it because I just wasn't really sure how I would feel about it. There's a lot of competition going on right now for the bigger knife market. The bigger knives being bigger hands, bigger blades, bigger fun. Sounded kind of wrong. So this is the We Knives Guthrie that is sent in for review by a buddy of mine, and this is not my knife. This is him sending it directly from Blade HQ to my house, currently in North Carolina, because I'm moving around a whole different bunch. Got multiple places in the world, but right now I'm loving that gorgeous North Carolina weather. So it is one of those things that I am excited about, but also if I love it, I believe they're sold out, and I'm going to be a sad man. But this is a collaboration between We Knife Company and Jason Guthrie. I believe this is his Ranger model. I know it is the Scout. I believe the Ranger is the bigger one. God damn it. All right, so in the actual package, we have a We Knife Co. box. A Blade HQ sticker. Fancy. And not much else. So, on the actual box, right here, we have the We 2307B-2 Guthrie. Champagne titanium handle with twill carbon fiber inlay, hand-rubbed satin CPM 20 CV blade. The big O made in China on it. All right, let's check this out. I have not checked out a We knife in quite some time. I know they were the big kind of it manufacturer for a while here. Also got some random little parting gifts or hello gifts. I don't know how to explain that really. But I know they were the big thing for a while. Did they fall off? Are they better than ever? I have frankly no idea because I don't really purchase Chinese knives, so I can avoid it. Okay. Initial impressions are this is kind of long. I knew it was big. It's, big. So this is the We Knives Guthrie. Very, very cool looking. Very pretty carbon fiber. The champagne titanium bolster. I don't know what the color champagne looks like. It's kind of like a bronze to me personally, like a very faint bronze. Is that champagne? I don't know. I'm not educated enough for that. Immediate critique is that why is there this much blade just left on the cutting room floor, so to speak? Definitely a nitpick, but I like the maximum blade to handle ratio possible. So if you have like damn near a 1/4 inch of space at the end, and I'll think about this, folks. This is also a front flipper, as you can see right here. So if you have this going all the way up and maximize blade to handle ratio, you might actually get a damn near 1-to-1 blade to handle ratio, which in our industry is pretty much unheard of. Like there are knives around that have that primarily in the custom space, but like they're really, really rare. And that would have just really made this knife very, very cool off top. And again, just a casual look, I was like, oh, that is terrible blade to handle ratio. Not great, but dead center, so that's something. 4 minutes in, how's the action? It's not bad. Ooh, the drop shot's very, very smooth. Reverse flick. Feels pretty good, actually. Can you slow roll it? Not really. Even going slow, breaking the detent, pops it out to about right there. So, not great for the slow roll. Front flip. Fail. 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 I'm so bad at front flipping, y'all. If you like front flipping knives, right, and you want this knife for a front flipper, and you are good at front flipping knives, then chances are you're good to go. I am not, so we're going to do this. Fail. So, in regards to that, it does work. Ow. Pinched the shit out of me. Oh my god. I mean, I'm pretty bad at front flipping, but I can normally at least get a couple in a row. And there we go. It doesn't feel the best. You can do it. But yeah, I definitely would not call this the preferred opening method. All right, so ergonomic-wise, I have size 2XL hands. I'm kind of who this type of knife is geared towards because I have abnormally large hands. I'm an abnormally large person in general. In my size 2XL hands, I take up the majority of the knife. There is a little bit right here sticking off, a little bit of nubbin. If I were to go down, I have my fingers here on this actual little piece. Now I have my finger slightly off of the blade. So for my size of 2XL hands, holding it like this, it feels eh. If I go a little bit up, I have a little bit of room then, and it feels better, though it's not great. It's definitely not bad, but it's not great. As far as when you're actually disengaging it, there's kind of a squishiness to the lock. I don't know if you can hear that on the actual microphone or not. You can hear that kind of like squishy, squeaky. It doesn't feel good. This is a $300 knife, I believe, $400 knife. I know they had one configuration that was like $400, and one that was $300. I'm not sure which one is which, so let's just say $300 to be safe. But having it squish like that and squeak like that for a $300 knife, when there are $20 knives nowadays, because the budget knife market has gotten so much freaking better over the years. There's a $20 knife that doesn't have that problem, but your $300 knife does. That's not good. So, action on the front flipper, I think, is mediocre at best. Action as far as the thumb deployment, I think, is decent. Definitely not great, but does go out. And if you get a really solid flick out of it, it does launch out fairly hard. As far as the reverse flick, I think getting your finger jammed in this small little space does not feel good. But once you do apply that force, it reverse flicks fantastically. For somebody that has larger hands, I have size 2XL hands, this does not fit great for me. And again, I am the demographic. There are tons and tons of small knives out there. If you have smaller hands, there are a plethora of amazing options for you. But if you are like me, there is unfortunately just not. So the fact that this is a knife designed to fit people with bigger hands and bigger knife in general, and doesn't really fit very well, it's not the best in the world. However, let's talk about the actual QC and the fit and finish and the overall styling. I cannot see any voids in the carbon fiber at all. Nope, that's dust. Yeah, no, it's completely clean. The transition from the carbon fiber to the titanium right here has literally no gap. It is silky, silky smooth. You cannot reach the blade from the back, so safety-wise, you're completely good to go. There is some extraordinarily tiny little back spacers here. I don't know about that, or backstep spacers. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. These little three things that look kind of interesting. I will be honest here. I am a little confused because, there's a screw here and a screw here. So is this third one just like press fitted on? As there's no screw there. So is it structurally sound or is it just a gimmick? But either way, carbon fiber is very, very smooth. Going up towards the actual champagne bolster, you can feel this transition very, very slightly. No transition here at all. right here is very, very slight. Not a big deal at all, though. As far as the actual lock, right here, which is where most places kind of have a sharp cutoff and it feel great on your fingers, is very, very nicely chamfered. There is really no hot spot, cold spot, warm spot, just that perfect Goldilocks feel right here as far as this goes, which is very, very uncommon. Fit and finish is overall very, very good. As far as the blade goes, we have the hand rubbed satin with these kind of polished flats right here. Not quite a mirror polish, but very, very nice overall. And you can very much see the hand rub finish, which is really, really pretty if you are a collector. I'm a user, and as you can already see, my big ass fingerprint is right there. This will be an absolute fingerprint magnet. I'll go ahead and clean this off for its final user out of respect. But that's kind of why I don't go with satin blades. Normally a stone wash bead blast guy. Really, really pretty. But it doesn't stay pretty very long, generally speaking. So, my overall score on this knife. I am not a huge fan. I do like it. I think the potentiality of something great is definitely there. I think that they should have taken this little kind of groove thing and transitioned it up a little bit more towards here. Because it being down so low, if you want to hold it like this, I have two fingers sticking off, which feels terrible. If you want to hold it where your actual fingers are supposed to go, I have a finger sticking off, which doesn't feel great. And if you go a little higher than that, it's sort of awkward, but it feels fantastic. Like, this feels really, really good in hand, but it's not a very stable way to carry. It's not a very stable way to actually use for work or anything like that. So if they would have taken this kind of cutout and just put it up even just a small amount, I think I'd actually really, really like this knife. It feels very good in hand. The fit and finish, credit where credit is due, right, is fantastic. I'm very, very impressed with that. The implementation of the front flipper, I think it looks kind of cool. I don't think it is super functional. Like, yes, you can do it, but it doesn't really feel like it's made to be opened that way. As in with the thumb studs, this feels, like it's made to be opened that way. As far as the reverse flick, it feels like it's made to be opened that way. That just doesn't. Even when you make it actually work like I just did right there, like, it doesn't feel great. It's not bad by any means, but it feels like it's an add-on. And if you just want, to maximize blade to handle ratio, which I am all about, then again, having to go all the way up, tapering this piece right there, and going all the way down to where you can just about pull it with your finger, I would be all over this. And okay, well, I don't care, but because they chose to take away blade there to add blade here, and they knock it out of the park, I kind of got to ding them for that. I'm not a fan of that at all. I have not ever handled the Jason Guthrie Ranger. I have handled the Jason Guthrie Scout before, which is a very pretty knife, though it is on the smaller side for sure, if it is what I'm thinking about, to be clear. It looked kind of like this, but it was definitely smaller, full of titanium scales. Maybe that's the wrong model. I'm not really sure. But I believe this is based off the Ranger design. But I don't handle the Ranger. I've handled the Scout. I liked it. Thought it was good. I just I wanted to like this, man. Like when he said he was going to send it to me, I was excited. One, it's cool to have somebody that actually really trusts you and supports you to that extent, because that's kind of crazy to me. You're sending $300 to a stranger. Like, I don't know this guy at all, but you talk on the line sometimes, and here's a knife. Check it out. Let me know. Take your time. If you need a couple weeks with it, by all means, go for it, and then send it on over whenever you're done. That's crazy. I love that. But also, it gives me a chance to try something literally free of charge that I might potentially love. And I thought there was definitely a chance that I might potentially love this. I don't. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a great template. I think it has the potentiality to be very, very good. If they do a version 2, they maximize that blade to handle ratio. They take this and move it up just a little bit, and maybe make the knife just a little bit fatter overall, because it's pretty thin. And if you're trying to appeal to somebody with bigger hands like myself, you really want that substantial feel that this does not have. And that substantial feel is done through one of two things, which is weight, which most people don't want weight in their knife. I like big, heavy things. Most folks don't. That's fine. But also with far as thickness and length, which sounds dirty, but it's true. It just feels better in your hand, which also sounds dirty. And yeah, I'm going to change this conversation now. But you know what I'm talking about. I think that is kind of a miss. So my overall first impression score of this is going to be a 7, which is good. Far from great, but definitely good. And if you do happen to like this design, if you're not quite so anal about the blade to handle ratio type of thing, and if you are not a fan of front flippers whatsoever, but you do like a good thumb stud, it is definitely, definitely functional. There is actually very slight side-to-side play. That's not great. Up and down is also very, very slight up and down play. It's minor, very, very minor. But yeah, side-to-side play, more prevalent. Up and down is like minuscule, but it is there. So that's not great. Also, the squishy-ass lock bar drives me crazy, little squeaky thing. It just feels cheap, and this is not a cheap knife, so an expensive product should not feel cheap by its very nature. If it does, in my opinion, that's kind of a failure of the design or the manufacturing process of the product. But that's just me, and who the fuck am I? As always, folks, I love you all. Please take care, and bye-bye.